Welcome back to Alpha Mama. So today I have a special guest on the show. This is Alpha Mama Productions. This is episode 3, and today I am interviewing Mari Whyte. Welcome back, and I'm also trying something new today, so I'm going to try this in the future, and that's video recording, and I'll upload to YouTube. So I'll put the link into the blog below so that you can meet the guests when I interview people and get a feel of how the show works. You know, I've put the backdrop in here, you know, to dream of places that are not my house, but a tropical island, which is where I'd love to be right now. So today my guest is Mari Whyte, or Mari Whyte. She's a champion Strongwoman. Her official title, I believe, is 5th strongest woman in the world in the Strongwoman competition. She's also a fire twirling extraordinaire. And on top of that, I'm really excited to share that she also happens to be related to me. So I'm really honoured that she's taken the time out of her busy schedule to share some insights with me on gratitude, how to stay disciplined during the onslaught of COVID, and also tips on overcoming hardship in your life, as well as staying accountable. So Mari is someone who really inspires me. She is someone that I've turned to personally during the time of COVID to help me with some personal training, and just via Zoom, obviously, and then just someone who can help me stay accountable with my fitness goals and help me stay on track. And, you know, just having that connection with someone and someone to stay accountable with during this time, to check in with, has just made such a huge difference to my life, and has helped me be able to sort of achieve some of the goals that I've been working towards and hoping to achieve. Without further ado, tune in, and I'll cut into the interview now and we can hear what she has to say. Okay. Thank you again for doing the interview with me. So as you are probably aware, I have been very inspired by you over the last few years, because you've really worked hard to I guess make a life for yourself and follow your dreams and your ambitions. And I think it's really inspiring and it's really cool. And I'm really amazed that there are such amazing women in our family. I love that. So, and you're definitely one of those, I love it. You're like one of the babies in the family, and yet, you know, you've really got that drive. And so, yeah, I was going to just ask you a few questions, and if you want to just go through the list, basically. Yeah, just curious to know more about, I guess, the things that drive you, but yeah, if you want to talk about things like what you're most grateful for in life.
Yeah, sounds really cool. That's so nice. My heart was just like, ooh. So what I find really, what I'm most grateful for is I guess at the moment during isolation, I'm so grateful for my health and for my family. Family is always a huge one that's at the top of my list. I'm grateful for my parents and that my family has such a good connection. That's really something I'm hugely grateful for. I love nature. I'm grateful for plants and good clean water. At the moment, we had a big storm 2 nights ago and the water got contaminated. Yes. So we can't actually drink the water at the moment. So I appreciate, so we have to boil our water before we drink it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate clean water. I'm pretty grateful for everything. Like, I'm grateful for my warm bed. I'm grateful to live in an amazing house with beautiful housemates. I'm really grateful for my partner, my boyfriend, and my work. I'm grateful that I still have a job. I'm pretty a happy person all around, because I find gratitude in everything that I do, and that really adds to my happiness on the daily. So I'm very appreciative.
You? Like, do you think that that's driving
most things, but families? Sorry, driving.
Yeah, I was going to say, do you find that gratitude something that sustains you in your life, or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, 100%. I feel practicing gratitude every day really instills in me that my mental state is looked after. I'm happy. I'm in a good headspace. I've been doing a bit of research on frequencies at the moment, and just energies, and I feel like if you practice gratitude, you live in a happy mind space and on a good frequency, and that really gives you the energy to be motivated and to be driven and to be better and to feel good. I want to feel good and be happy, and I want people around me to feel good and be happy. So that's really what drives me, and I love helping people, and it really helps me feel awesome that I've helped uplift someone else. And that just adds to my happiness, and that adds to the good feelings and all the good vibes. So I like to see myself as like a ball of happiness, and I just want to help put happiness out there. And when I put it out there, it always comes back just from giving.
Yeah, that's really beautiful, the way that you've said that, and also a timely segue into our next question, because I guess you know, what you're saying there is that you know, you want to be that ball of happiness, and be able to sustain the people around you. And I guess you know, one thing that I've struggled with during this time is that COVID-19's been really hard to stay focused and motivated for myself, within myself, and I find that I'm, like, you know, veering off and finding it hard to sustain that sort of energy and that motivation to, like, keep getting up every day and keep going and be that person in life. You know, like, I've been struggling to, like, get up in the mornings, and then you can't really see any certainty for the future. So in terms of that, how would you approach that personally, and have you had those struggles during COVID-19, and what tips would you recommend for people to help stay motivated or keep going during this time?
It's a really good question. I really have struggled a lot as well during COVID-19. In the first isolation that we had in Victoria, in Melbourne, it was really tough because it was new and different, and I was prepping for one of my biggest competitions. It was going to be Arnold Classic national competition, and I felt like I was in the best shape of my life, apart from having a minor shoulder injury that was just twinging a bit, but I was dieting down a lot, and it really took a huge shock to my mental state when I had put myself through a really hard set of months of really hard discipline, and I was working really hard, and I was unsure of where my work was going to go, if I was going to get any money, any income. In the first 2 weeks of the isolation, my boss didn't know what he was doing either, and he paid me, I remember, I think it was like $200, because we hadn't had JobKeeper come through yet. That wasn't a thing yet, and I was like, okay, I have to live off $200 for the week. So, and it was a bit crazy, and I had dieted down, and was cancelled. But the first isolation was really an experience. And when we came out of isolation, we had 2.5 weeks of just getting back into the groove of things. We still were keeping socially distanced. And when the second ISO came around, I was like, right, I've got this. I'm in the right headspace. Yeah. This is going to be awesome. I'm going to make this awesome. Because I knew what to expect. I was like, okay, I've already done this. I've already had the roller coaster ride. I've got this. Yes. So I really approached it differently. I looked at it as a productive time where I can do the best for myself. I can learn, I can create online programs, I can reach clients online, and I can be that light of shining happiness or ball of connection that people are reaching for, that people really crave during this time. That I really struggled in the first ISO, and I didn't understand what to do. I wasn't prepared. I kind of almost threw in the bag. I still trained at least 4 times a week, but I didn't have a structure. I didn't stay on a program with my coach, but I made a very conscious decision to continue on a program with my coach during ISO 2.0, I guess, to make sure I was staying accountable to myself and to him, and to still training for a future competition possibly. But that kept me going and checking times, and that really helped me as well. So having my own accountability has also helped me be more accountable to other people. Yeah. Because I didn't have that in first ISO. I kind of freaked out. I was like, there's no competition. I don't want to train. I just want to move my body and kind of go through the emotions. But I do find, having a coach or having someone that you can be accountable to has really helped me in the second round of lockdown. Having a loose schedule that you can stick to, understanding if you're a morning person or an afternoon person, and working around that and making your jobs that you need to be most productive around that time of day that you work or function better at. Yeah. Trying to eat foods better, like nicer foods, nutritious foods that'll help you function better and actually not have a big sugar crash. So if I have too much sugar or too many sweets, I will go like pew, like energy, and then I'll go poof, I'll just crash, and I feel absolute trash the next day, and I can't get any work done. I'm a morning person, and I love the morning. I love seeing the sunrise. It's one of my favorite things to do, and feeling really productive in the morning. I love a nice coffee, a cup of tea in one of my dad's cups. So I just little things that I create in my everyday. I have little routines. My coffee or my tea is always in one of the cups that my dad makes, because it makes me feel connected with him, and I appreciate him and his art, and that's really important for me. Yeah, I listen to nice Zen music in the morning, my favorite music, just to help wake me up in the morning. I try to move my body around. I'll straight away go to the kitchen and just put the dishes away from the rack, and that's kind of wakes me up. Yeah. Doing a task that's the same task every day, that slowly kind of wakes me up while I'm listening to music, will slowly get me there. But
and it sounds like also like that consistency, like you're doing something productive and you're doing it consistently over days, and that gives you that sense of security as well, almost.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Having a routine will help keep you in check and keep you feeling like the ball's rolling and you're actually going somewhere. So I write a list every day. So this is my list for today. And
I love it. I'm a list person as well.
Yeah. I have to draw like a little box next to it, and I love ticking it. Yeah. And I'm like, I've got it. Like even if it's something that I've already done today. Yeah, I'll still write it down. Like I've already cleaned like the bathroom, or no, the toilet and the kitchen. So I write down clean toilet and kitchen, tick, and I'm like, sweet, I've done it.
Fantastic.
But it's celebrating the small wins and creating small achievable goals and wins that you can tick off and feel accomplished is important. Accomplished and feeling like there's some form of progress. Yeah. Moving forward. rather than just kind of running around in a roundabout, because you will feel like you're going crazy and you will lose the plot. I did, and it's okay.
Oh, that's so
Being
good.
there.
Yeah, and I've really appreciated as well, because in the end I've turned to you. You've been helping me with my improving my fitness, and that's been really helpful when you mention things like being accountable. Having someone to show up for, having someone to like check in with really makes such a big difference, doesn't it? So it's amazing that just that small connection with other people can really help so much during this time. So and in life in general, isn't it? So so I know that from conversations that we've had in the past, so personally, like I've been trying to use this time to focus on some personal projects that I have. I have sort of these dreams of doing different business ventures and so forth. And it has been a good time to do those sorts of things. But sorry, let me see. I guess what I'm curious about is from you've been saying that you are sort of looking at other options in your life. So yeah, I'm curious to know, I guess, where you're sort of planning on taking things on your journey next.
But on the fitness side of things, as a coach, I'm a strongman coach as well. I'm a strength and conditioning coach. I work for a company called Body Fit Training, and they're located in Bayswater.
Yeah,
they're absolutely fantastic. Yeah. And I'd love to keep coaching. I've been coaching for about 6 years now, but I also run on the side. It's called Sisters in Strength. So it's a women's only strength seminar, workshop, kind of wellness, health, holistic approach to empowering women through fitness and health and strength, and educating them and running seminars through that and having people to come and speak. So we've run a couple of those seminars already, and they were absolutely hugely successful. They were so amazing. We had a bit of a break, and my partner who I was running them with, one of my best friends, Karen Seam, she's absolutely fantastic, or Karen Taylor now. She's actually started her own podcast during COVID. Oh, and we want to talk about sisters and so it's really cool. It's called All Things Taboo. I think you would love it. It's fantastic, and we want to talk about sisters in strength on the podcast as well, and really try to showcase that. So there's potential of things happening there in the future that are to do with big groups of people in like a seminar kind of environment or a big event environment. Yeah. Which would be really fantastic. And sorry, it's just my housemate. That would be fantastic in the future, using strongman sport hosting through that. An awesome seminar for women is the big goal in the end of the day.
That sounds amazing.
During that, I
definitely
it's
want
cool.
to come along to something like that. Like, it sounds really cool. Yeah, we need.
Oh, you would love it.
Yeah, wicked.
It's like huge festival vibes, party vibes. We blast music all day, and we've got like a big timer. We've got coaches at different stations, and we switch the girls around. They'll go to all the different stations. Obviously, all things will have to change for the future. We'll see how things go with restrictions. And then at the end, we'll host a lunch, tea and coffee provided, all in the ticket. They get a goodie bag, they get a show bag. It's like a massive show party. And then we run a mindset session within that at the end. So we have 2 guest speakers that come and that are athletes. Fantastic. Come and talk about their struggles and share their story and inspire the women to love who they are and embrace what they have that is amazing and run with it. That's really, really the huge message that we put out there that we're all amazing and spectacular, and we will have flaws, but that's what makes us special.
And speaking of struggles, I'll grab you there because you know, you also being an athlete and having experienced struggles in your life, I'd love to sort of finish on that note of you know, just I suppose looking at how we all get shaped by our childhoods and our upbringings and our experiences, you know, and yeah, I'd just be curious to hear more about, you know, if there was anything you would change about how you've been brought up, or if there are any struggles or hardships that have sort of helped shape you and turned you into the person that you are, and how you've overcome those, I guess, yeah, as well.
Yeah. Okay. The best way I could approach this is starting from the beginning. So I'm the youngest of 4 girls. My mother has multiple personality disorder. Throughout our childhood, from young primary school to, and getting progressively worse, my mother was, through to high school. Like the early days in high school were really, really tough, and the later days in primary school were quite tough for us as a family. Yeah. So we lived in the country. We actually did quite well. I never had like an empty plate. I was always fed. Mum always made sure we were fed, but she had a lot of episodes where she would get quite depressed and suicidal, where she would switch to a different personality and wouldn't know who we were. So we had a very strange childhood growing up, where we really looked to Dad for support, and to my older siblings, so to my older sisters, were really helping raise me and my dad. Yeah. Mum's been a solid, amazing woman throughout my life, and I really look up to her, and her strength inspires me crazy amounts, and so does Dad's. Watching them be a couple throughout my whole life, and to see what they've gone through, and the struggles and the sacrifices that Dad had to make for weeks on end. He would go visit Mum in the hospital, driving at least 3 hours a day from Warburton, that's in the middle of nowhere, or in the bush, driving up to the hospital to spend time with Mum, and we would be by ourselves a lot. So I spent a lot of time with my sisters and my siblings. When I was young, I was the youngest, so I was a bit of a troublemaker. I got away with a lot of things, but I really did struggle growing up with Mum. She would scream and have episodes where it was really scary sometimes, and she would come to the dinner table and she would have just scratches on her wrists, and she would have to cover up her wrists a lot of the time. Yeah. Dad had to hide the knives. We've had, like, there's so many, I could talk about it for so long.
Intense. Yeah. But you're but it's like you're so positive despite all of that, you know. It's amazing.
Yeah, I got a lot of counselling in high school, so all of us girls did. We were in a lot of programs to talk with other kids from families that had mental illnesses, so that was a big part of my upbringing. Yeah. And understanding that we have struggle in our family, but every single family has some form of struggle, and they're going to look at their struggle like it's really tough. Yeah. Even though your struggle might be a bit harder than what they're going through, to them it still feels like it's just as bad. Yeah. So you can't really compare mine's worse than yours or you're worse than mine. Yeah. Our struggle is still struggles, and the only way to get through it is through connection, positivity, and really trying to listen to others. So I'm quite empathetic as a person. I get it from my dad. He's very empathetic. I learnt to be a good listener from a young age, and Grandma has been a huge positive inspiration to me from a young age. I remember she, whenever I was complaining about something, she'd be a very much, that's really not that bad. Like, what are you complaining about? I'm like, oh, Grandma, okay. Grandma Grandma's a really tough nugget, and
Mm.
she was really inspiring me, as well as Dad, to be very positive and to just, you know, suck it up, get over it. It's hard, but it's really not that bad. Like,
Mm.
there's more things in life going on that you can be so grateful for.
Yeah.
There's no point in sobbing over something that's really not fun and uncomfortable right now, because you just got to get up and keep going, because life's going to keep going.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry?
And I was going to say, and things that you don't have
Yeah.
control over. Yeah.
Yeah, things that you don't have control over.
Really beautiful. I'm just wary that we may cut out in a second because
Oh, no, that's...
yeah. So I just wanted to say thank you. I really love that note of connection at the end. That's really beautiful, in terms of being understanding and connecting with others to help overcome struggles, and realizing that you're not alone, and that other people are also suffering, and we're all in the same boat together. And it's a really good note for COVID as well. I mean, now's the perfect time to remember that we're all connected and we're all struggling through this. So I just wanted to say thank you so much for doing this interview with me today. It was really inspiring and really good to hear your words and get your tips about just life, I guess. So, and I'm excited about your future projects. So I look forward to watching that space, and you know, I'll definitely be keen to come along to your Sisters in Strength or any other events that you have going on. So yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Thank you for having me. It's been awesome.
Yeah.
Very, very fun to talk and share and inspire others.
So that was the beautiful Mari Whyte. Very inspiring to speak with her today. So I'll plug her links into the blog this week. So if you're keen to follow her on social media or keep up to date with her latest projects, and get involved, then all the links will be there, so you can check her out and see what she's doing and get involved with her projects. Thank you for tuning in today, and on the show next week we'll be talking a little bit about one of my favourite books, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, and just dissect that and break it down a little bit and look at some of the insights that we can get from listening to reading that book. So until next week, stay safe, keep it real, stay connected with each other, and over and out.